The Prime Minister will talk to people.
地震が発生して1日半が経過をいたしました。
A day and a half has passed since the earthquake struck, and I'd like to express my sympathy to people who have been affected. And also there are people who are working to rescue people of self-defense force, police, firefighters, and maritime defense force, and also to other related ministries and agencies. I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to those people for their hard work. At 6 a.m. this morning, on the helicopter of the self-defense force, I visited the disaster-hit areas. First, I went to Fukushima No. 1 nuclear power plant in Fukushima Prefecture and talked with people in the power plant about the situation. And in addition, I went to Sendai, Ishinomaki. I also visited those areas above from the helicopter and was able to see in detail what was happening. Now, this earthquake brought about a major tsunami, and because of that, there's been a devastating effect. And I found this out. So the most important thing is to rescue and save people. And yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we will put priority on rescuing people. We will have to work very hard on this. And to the self-defense force, I've instructed to increase the number of personnel from 20,000 to 50,000, and also I instructed the defense minister to mobilize more people from all around Japan so that they can rescue and work on this. So we are committed to rescue as many people as possible, and for that we will do everything we can, and especially today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow, we will have to work hard. And already there are so many people in the evacuation centers. Food, water, and it's time of cold days. We need some heating equipment, and also toilet facilities should be equipped. We are sending those necessities to the evacuation centers. And in this form, we will help the people who have been hit by this disaster and hope that they will overcome this difficulty. And in addition,
at Fukushima No. 1 nuclear plant and No. 2 nuclear power plant, at both of these power plants, we realize that there are a great many people who are concerned. This earthquake brought about a much larger tsunami than what was ever assumed. Traditionally, a backup system would have been activated when struck by an earthquake. However, that backup system has now been wrought by issues. We believe that the safety of the local residents is the utmost priority. To that end, we have been developing our strategies. In particular, with Fukushima number 1 nuclear power plant, number 1 reactor, there has been a new development. My Chief Cabinet Secretary will explain more in detail later on. Due to this latest development at the nuclear power station, residents living within a 10-kilometer radius have already been asked to evacuate. We decided to issue a new evacuation order to residents living within a 20-kilometer radius from Fukushima No. 1 nuclear power station. This is one of many measures that we will be taking so that we can work comprehensively and ensure that not a single resident will suffer any ill effects. I would like to ask that the residents listen carefully to information issued by the government and other news reports, and to above all act calmly at all times. In this recent earthquake, President Obama from the United States has called. State leaders from more than 50 countries have called us to offer their assistance. I truly appreciate this outreach from the international community, and if there's anything that we can use to our advantage effectively, we would like to be able to rely on that assistance. The most important mission right now is to save people's lives and to also help people who are living in evacuation conditions. We want to take the lessons learned from the Great Hanshin earthquake in the form of temporary housing that was provided. Following that, we will need to draw up a plan for rebuilding the devastated areas. The opposition parties in yesterday's and today's party leader discussions have promised me that they would like to work closely with us in the rebuilding effort. I very much appreciate their attitudes and offers, and I would like to stress to the people of Japan that we are facing an unprecedented crisis as a country, but with help from each and every Japanese individual, the Japanese government and other associations and organizations can work together to overcome this challenge and pave the way for the future. We will be able to look back one day on this challenge and realize that this is what has helped to create a new Japan.
And I'm determined to work to deal with this crisis, and I promise this. And this is my message to the people. Thank you. Now this ends the message from the Prime Minister.